If someone would have told me just a few years ago that I could lose 20 pounds in 30 days without even dieting, I really honestly would not believe them. But I'm sitting here telling you that it is 100% possible. I didn't starve myself, I didn't count every single calorie, and I didn't overwork myself in the gym. I focused on basics, I simplified my approach, and that is what changed everything. This video is not about quick fixes or gimmicks, it's about what actually worked. I'm going to be talking you through the exact steps I took, step by step. What I wish I knew sooner, what I did every morning, how I stayed consistent even when I didn't feel motivated, and what I avoided that made a huge difference in my results. This video is for beginners, for the girls who are overwhelmed, for my girls who don't feel comfortable going to the gym, who don't want to follow a restrictive meal plan, and who's tired of just starting over every single Monday. I'm going to be giving you everything, the truth, the struggle, and the simple changes I made to finally lose that weight. And no, you do not have to do anything extreme. This is natural, this is doable, and it worked. So let's get into it. Let me take you back to just a few years ago. I was tired of feeling stuck. I kept saying that I wanted to be in shape, but I could not find the courage and could not find it in me to stay consistent. Every time I tried to be serious, I would just go too hard. I would restrict my food too much. I would overwork myself and cause myself to face burnout. And then when I felt burnt out, I would get mad at myself for not being disciplined. But one morning, I honestly just decided to try something different. I asked myself, what if I don't have to be perfect this time? What if I just focused on small, simple things that I can actually stick to, even on my bad days? That mindset right there shifted everything. I did not have a gym membership. I did not have a meal plan. I didn't even have a goal weight. My only goal was to feel better, feel lighter, and feel in control of my life. So I started with what I had. I made a few promises to myself. I'm gonna move my body every single day, even if that means just walking. I'm going to stop calling it a diet, and instead I'm going to call it nourishment. I'm going to drink water first thing in the morning. I'm going to focus on how I feel, not just what I look like. The first week, I did not see any changes on the scale, but I felt different. I felt better. I felt lighter. I got better sleep. I wasn't bloated, and most importantly, I was not miserable. By the second week, my clothes were fitting better, my confidence was coming back, and I was not solely relying on willpower. I was just showing up for myself every day in a way that felt real and natural. By the third week, people were actually noticing, and they kept asking what I was doing, and I would honestly tell them the truth. I would say, I'm not dieting, I'm just really sticking with the basics and just living a healthier lifestyle. And by the fourth week, you already know, your girl was losing that weight. That weight was off, my body was looking nice, okay? But let me be clear, this did not come from starving myself. This came from building habits that I could actually sustain. Key word, I could sustain. So let's start with the first thing I changed, my mindset. Discipline is not about perfection, it is about direction. I used to think weight loss was just about food and workouts. That if I ate clean and worked out every single day, then the weight would just magically come off. But the truth is, none of that matters if your mindset isn't in the right place. The first thing I had to do was I had to stop being at war with myself. I used to wake up every single day and look in the mirror with such disgust. I would say things like, oh, I hate how I look, I'm so ugly, how did I let myself get like this? And that energy followed me all day. I used to be an emotional eater, so it made me eat even more. It just made me feel unmotivated to do anything. It made me feel like change was impossible because I was trying to change myself from a place of hate. But let me tell you this, you cannot heal a body that you hate, and you cannot improve a lifestyle that you are always criticizing. So I stopped and I made a decision that I'm not going to talk to myself like that anymore. Instead of saying I hate my stomach, I said I'm working on my health. Instead of saying I'm lazy, I said I'm building new habits. Instead of saying I'm always messing up, I said this time I'm not giving up. That shift in language changed everything. I stopped expecting perfection and started finding joy and love in the progress. Because progress is what really builds up your confidence. I set a mental standard, not a physical weight goal. I did not say, oh, I want to be 130 pounds. I said that I want to be a woman who takes care of herself. I want to be a woman who is healthy. And that switch in my mindset really mattered. Goals can honestly fail you. You can step on a scale and not see progress. You can do everything right and not get progress overnight. But standards don't move. Standards keep you grounded. My new standard became, I don't skip movement, even if it's just walking. I don't shame myself when I mess up. I just reset. I don't just wait until Monday. I fix it by my next meal. That mental commitment made it so much easier to stay on track because it was no longer about pressure. It was about becoming someone better, one decision at a time. I stopped making weight loss an emergency. Let's be real. We live in a world of quick fixes. Drop 10 pounds overnight, lose weight overnight. So every time I started a new health journey, I expected instant results. And if I didn't see them by day 3, I would feel defeated. But that approach did not work. This time I slowed down. I told myself, girl, you didn't gain this weight in 30 days, so what makes you think you're gonna lose it in 3? And once I released the pressure, I started showing up more consistently. Ironically, the less I rushed the process, the faster the results came because I actually stuck with it. I built a morning routine that set the tone. Your mindset in the morning affects your actions all day. So I created a simple morning ritual. No phone, no pressure, just 30 minutes of me with me. Here's what it looked like. Water first. I drank 20 to 30 ounces of water before anything else. It hydrated me, it helped with my digestion, and it curbed my cravings. Most people mistake dehydration for hunger, and I used to do that too. Once I fixed that, I stopped overeating super early in the day. I step outside. Even just 5 minutes of the sun changed my mood. I go for a mini walk, or I just sit in the sun and just relax. I would also do affirmations. I know this sounds so corny, but it really worked for me. I'd say things like, my body is healing every day. I'm in control of my habits. I don't need to be perfect to make progress. These small thoughts rewired how I viewed myself. I stopped looking at myself like I was lazy and undisciplined. I started saying that I'm just in the progress part, and that gave me the motivation to keep going. I replaced the all or nothing mindset with grace. One of the biggest mindset mistakes is thinking that if you make one mistake, you ruined everything. I used to eat one bad meal and just say, forget it, I'll just start over Monday. I don't do that anymore. Now I tell myself, okay, that meal wasn't the best, but what can I do differently for my next one? That mindset keeps you moving, it keeps you out of guilt, and it keeps you focused on momentum instead of shame. I treated every day like a clean slate. I gave myself permission to start fresh every morning, and that is what kept me consistent. I stopped hiding. Before my weight loss journey, I hated taking pictures. I didn't want to see myself because I was so ashamed of how far I let myself go. But healing is what helped me face it. I took before pictures, not to punish myself, but to track my progress. I wore outfits that made me look cute in the now at that time, and not when I'll lose weight. I allowed myself to feel beautiful and worthy, even while still working on myself. Because the truth is, you cannot hate yourself into a better body. You have to love yourself into action. That doesn't mean you love everything about your current weight, but it does mean you have to respect yourself enough to take care of you right now. Stop rushing the process. Talk to yourself with love, not pressure. Make mindset your first priority. Start small and stay consistent. And remember, every day is a new opportunity. Treat it like one. Now let's talk about movement, and I don't mean doing 90-hour workouts daily or just overworking yourself in general. Because the truth is, I lost the weight without stepping foot in the gym at first. And this is not because I didn't want to work out. Little disclaimer too, around the time where I started this journey was around the time COVID was going on. So keep that in mind. So the gyms were closed. And I also knew that if I made fitness feel like a chore, that I would not stick with it. I focused on moving my body intentionally every single day. Here's the exact mindset I had. I don't need motivation to move. I just need structure. I stopped making it complicated. Every other time I would try to lose weight, I used to start by Googling things, trying to find answers, trying to find quick fixes. And I tried to follow these intense schedules that I just hated. I'd wake up so depressed because I didn't feel like doing it. I'd skip one day, then two, then I would stop altogether. And I kept thinking that the problem was me. But the truth was, those workouts were not built for me. They were built for people who were already in shape, already consistent, and already motivated. You see what I mean? You have to get to that point. So I thought with myself and was like, okay, what kind of movement can I actually stick to and be consistent with even on my bad days? And the answer was walking. Walking changed everything. It sounds simple. It is simple. and that's why it worked. I started with a goal of 5K steps a day. That is it. No speed walking, no sweat dripping or running, just walking. And here's what I noticed after the first week. My energy went up, my bloating went down, my cravings started to shift, and I felt more in control of my body. By week 2, I naturally wanted to start walking more. I started hitting 7 to 8K a day without forcing it. Sometimes I'd walk in silence, sometimes I'd call a friend, sometimes I'd listen to a podcast or listen to my music. Walking became me time. It helped with my mental and physical. It was like therapy. It grounded me in the present, and most importantly, I looked forward to it. Eventually, after that first month was up, I started adding in strength training workouts as well as HIIT workouts maybe once a week or even once every 2 weeks, but I started to slowly add that stuff in just so I could, gain some muscle and reserve that muscle. But walking was a great way for me to start, so I always recommend that to beginners for the first 3 to 2 to 4 weeks, and then you can slowly add in body weight strength training workouts and then add in dumbbells as well. I'll make more videos on that too, but this video is focused on the beginner way and the beginner style of it. I chose consistency over intensity. If I could go back and tell myself one thing about movement, it would be this: the best workout is the one you'll actually do and keep doing. You don't have to lift super heavy. You don't have to run marathons to see the results that you want to see. You need to show up every day in a way that's sustainable. That's why walking worked, especially with me being a beginner at the time. It didn't require a change of clothes or equipment. It really just required me. Some days I only hit 3K steps. Some days I hit 10K, but I moved every single day. I paid attention to how movement made me feel. I stopped thinking about calorie burn. I stopped focusing on fat loss zones. Instead, I asked myself, how does this workout make me feel? If it made me feel lighter, stronger, cleaner, I kept doing it. If it made me feel dread, shame, or punishment, I let it go. That's why walking stayed, and over time, other forms of exercise started to move in. Like I told you guys, after the first month, I started adding in body weight workouts, stretching, yoga, and some HIIT as well. Not because I had to, but because I wanted to. Movement became self-care, not self-punishment. I stopped using exercise as a way to earn food. This is big for me. I used to think I ate bad, so I have to work out extreme today. I didn't exercise today, so I have to eat dessert. I have to burn off everything I just ate. That mindset is toxic, and it creates a cycle of guilt, insecurity, and burning out. This time I reminded myself, movement is not a punishment for eating. It's a celebration of what your body can do. I didn't walk to earn food. I walked because it made me feel good. And ironically, that helped me make better food choices because I was already taking care of my body in other ways. I also stopped obsessing over the number on the scale. I instead tracked how I felt and progress that I was making within my daily movements and just within my meals. My progress is no longer measured by pounds lost. It was measured by the days that I showed up for myself. I moved on low motivation days too. Yes, there were days that I did not feel like doing anything. Days where I was tired, moody, unmotivated. But here's what I realized. Discipline is moving anyway, even if it's just only 5 minutes. On those days, I didn't force myself to do a full walk. I might just stretch for 5 minutes. I might have just walked outside for like 5 minutes. Other times, I would just turn on a song and dance in my room if I didn't even feel like leaving my room. Something is always better than nothing. I never skipped twice, okay? A rule I lived by was if I missed one day, I'm not going to miss 2, unless I'm sick. That was an exception. If I had a cold or a flu, baby, I'm in that bed for 7 days. I'm sick, okay? Life happens though. I'm not perfect. Some days I skip my walk. Some days I would just be busy and overwhelmed and couldn't do it. But I always got back on track the next day. That one rule of never falling off twice helped me stay on track from not falling off completely. It helped me build a pattern of resilience, not perfection, and in turn, it built my discipline. I stopped trying to become the fit girl, okay? And that sounds ironic coming from me, a fitness girl on Instagram. But let's just be real. We've all seen those it girl routines. Waking up at 6 a.m., going to get that matcha at a certain time, just having a strict certain routine. And for a while, I thought that that was the goal, until I realized that I don't want to be someone else's version of healthy. I want to be mine. I understand my genetics, how my genetics works. I might naturally be a little bit more curvier. I probably can't get my stomach to have 6-pack abs, and that is okay. I stopped chasing aesthetics. I created my own version of healthy. Movement that worked for me, my body, and my life. And that is the version that I could sustain. So I know it's the version that you could sustain as well. If you're expecting to hear a crazy diet plan here, then I'm sorry to disappoint you. Because what I'm about to share isn't about restriction or cutting out entire food groups. It's about changing your relationship with food so that way weight loss happens naturally. I stopped calling it a diet. Diets feel temporary, diets feel like a punishment. They make you feel deprived, and when you feel deprived, you start to binge, you give up, and you tell yourself, I'm gonna start again on Monday, and then you say it again the next week. So instead, I realized that this is about nourishment and feeding my body what it actually needed. I focused on whole foods. I did not track macros or calories, but I made sure to focus on getting in whole and real foods. That meant veggies like spinach, broccoli, and carrots, lean protein like chicken breast, fish, and eggs, whole grains like brown rice and oats, healthy fats like avocado and nuts. When I ate processed foods, I did not beat myself up or punish myself. I just made sure that majority of my meals were nourishing. I drank water like it was my job. Water was really my secret weapon. Sometimes when I thought I was hungry, I was really thirsty. So I started drinking 2 to 3 liters a day. Drinking water helped me reduce cravings and kept my energy steady throughout the day. I stopped snacking out of boredom. One of the biggest pitfalls was mindless snacking. Instead of eating every time I felt a craving or felt bored, I would simply ask, am I really hungry or am I just bored? If I wasn't really hungry, I found something to replace the boredom. I drank water, took a walk, or did something else that I enjoyed doing. I kept my favorite foods just in smaller portions. I'm not about that all or nothing lifestyle. I still ate my favorite foods and my comfort foods. I just learned how to add them in. Instead of finishing a whole bag of chips or a pint of ice cream, I would give myself like a portion of it, a smaller portion instead of the whole thing. This stopped the cycle of binge and guilt. I made meal prepping a habit. Meal prepping changed the game for me, okay? Instead of me resulting in last minute meals, I spent 1 to 2 hours on Sundays meal prepping my food for that week. Having healthy meals ready reduced the temptation of ordering takeout or just grabbing fast food. I avoided the dieting mindset, so no strict food rules, no labeling foods as good or bad, no demonizing carbs or fats. I focused on balance, variety, and consistency. Habits are the foundation of lasting change. You can have motivation and willpower, but without habits, it's easy to fall back into that old lifestyle. When I lost this weight, it was because I built habits that supported my goals. Habits that became second nature. When I first started this journey, I believed a lot of things that turned out to be myths. And these myths can trap you in frustration and keep you from reaching your end goal. So today I'm going to debunk the biggest ones that I faced. Myth number 1, you have to starve yourself to lose weight. This is completely false. Starving yourself slows your metabolism and leads to muscle loss. It also makes you miserable. Real weight loss happens when you nourish your body, not starve it. Myth number 2, carbs are the enemy. Carbs get such a bad rep, but they're actually an important energy source. The key is to choose the right carbs, whole grains, fruits and veggies, and balancing them with proteins and fats. Myth number 3, you need to spend hours in the gym. You don't need to spend hours working out to lose weight. Consistency and movement are more important than duration or intensity. Myth number 4, fats make you fat. No. Healthy fats are essential for your hormone balance, brain health, and safety. Try to avoid processed fats, but don't fear all fats. Myth number 5, you could target fat loss. No. Spot reduction is a myth. You can't choose where you lose fat. Fat loss happens throughout the body as you create a calorie deficit. Myth number 6, skipping meals help with weight loss. No. Skipping meals can lead to weight gain by slowing down your metabolism and just creating hunger later on, which then causes you to binge. Eating regular balanced meals keeps your energy level steady. Myth number 7, you have to give up all your favorite foods. No. Deprivation leads to binging and just feeling miserable. You can enjoy your favorite foods in moderation and still lose weight. Myth number 8, fast, quick fixes are sustainable. No. Quick fixes barely last. Slow, steady progress is what builds habits that stick. Myth number 9, more sweat equals more fat loss. No, sweat is basically your body cooling itself. It's not an indicator of fat loss. Myth number 10, you're just genetically doomed. Genetics influence your body shape and tendencies, but they don't control your destiny. Habits and lifestyle have the biggest impact. Let's be honest, losing weight is not easy, and there will be days where you feel like giving up. I faced those days too, but I learned how to push through and keep going even when the motivation was low. Here's how I stay consistent when quitting seemed like the easier thing to do. I reminded myself why I started. Whenever I felt like quitting, I thought back to the reason why I even started this journey: to feel confident, to be healthier, and to have more energy. Reconnecting with my why helped me find the strength to keep going. I broke my goals down into smaller steps. Big goals can feel overwhelming, so I broke them down into tiny, manageable tasks. Small wins build momentum. I rewarded myself, not by eating a bunch of junk food. I celebrated my progress by treating myself with things that supported my journey. New workout clothes, new regular clothes, a massage, movie night, getting my nails and my toes done. These type of rewards make success feel really good. I changed my environment. I removed temptations like junk food that was in my cabinet. I created spaces that encouraged healthy habits. I found a support system. Having people around that can encourage me and keep me accountable really helped me on the days where I was just feeling low. When I wanted to quit, they reminded me of my progress and my potential. I practiced self-compassion. I stopped beating myself up for minor setbacks. Change takes time and every step forward matters, so I treated myself with kindness and patience. I used visual reminders. I put motivational quotes, progress photos, and just overall goal reminders somewhere where I'd see them. I always recommend to people to create a vision board and hang it up in your room. I created a routine. Consistency becomes easier when healthy habits is a part of your daily life. I did not have to think twice because it just became something I did. I accepted the fact that setbacks are normal. Setbacks are not failures, it's just opportunities to come back even stronger. Looking back on this journey, there are things that I wish I understood from the very beginning. If I could go back and give myself advice, this is what I'd say. It's okay to ask for help. Trying to do everything alone only makes this journey a lot harder. Progress is not linear. Weight loss is not a straight line. There will be ups and downs, but that is completely normal. Do not let setbacks discourage you. Small changes add up. You don't have to change your whole life overnight. Tiny adjustments repeated daily leads to massive results over time. Your mindset is everything, okay? Without the right mindset, even the best plans fail. Invest time in building mental strength, self-love, and patience. Consistency beats perfection. Show up every day, even imperfectly. Listen to your body because your body knows what it needs. Respect your signals and respond with care. It's a journey, not a destination, okay? Weight loss is not a finish line, it is a lifestyle. Focus on sustainable habits that support your well-being long-term. You are worth it, okay? So above all, believe in your worthiness. You deserve to feel healthy, confident, and happy. Losing 20 pounds in 30 days was amazing, but the real challenge was keeping the momentum after that. Long-term success comes from sustained motivation and habits that are a part of your lifestyle. Here's how I kept myself motivated beyond the initial goals. I set new goals. After reaching my first milestone, I set new realistic goals to keep me going. These were not just weight related. They also focused on fitness, my well-being, and self-care. Because after a certain point, I was done losing the weight, so I just created fitness goals based off of my performance and, just my well-being overall. I mixed up my routines, okay? So to avoid boredom, I mixed up my activities. This kept things fresh and enjoyable. I also rewarded consistency. I celebrated every month that I stayed consistent. I found inspiration. I followed creators. I read books, and I overall would just look for things that just kept me motivated to keep going and inspired me. I reflected, okay? So journaling about my journey helped me stay mindful and reminded me why I'm even doing this in the first place. I embraced the lifestyle change. I stopped looking at weight loss as a phase. Instead, I embraced the habits that supported the lifelong healthy change. I kept learning, okay? I stayed curious about nutrition, health, and just mindset. This helped me wanting to, just learn more and just dive deeper into becoming the healthier version of myself. Congratulations on making it this far in this video. Whether you are just starting or you're already on your journey, remember this: you are capable of great things. Weight loss isn't about perfection, it is about progress. It's about showing up for yourself every single day. It's about kindness, patience, and believing that you deserve to feel your absolute best. Trust the process, okay? There'll be ups and downs, but every step forward counts. Do not rush, do not compare, and do not give up. Remember that you are not alone, okay? Many people struggle with the same challenges you do. Reach out. Don't be afraid to reach out to others for help. Reach out, connect, and find your community. Your journey is unique and your potential is limitless. Keep believing in yourself because I believe in you. Thank you so much for letting me guide you through this. Now go out there and crush your goals, okay? One day at a time. Bye.